So just a heads up, I'm on vacation this month, so this video seems kind of rushed. That's because it was. When I was in 6th grade, our class went on a camping trip towards the end of the year. We were taken out of school for 3 days, brought into the middle of the woods, had no water, no electricity, and were forced to participate in random activities that they had for us. And this was supposed to be a reward for getting through the year. When they first told us about the trip, they had a list of requirements you had to follow in order to go. The first was that you needed to get a parent's signature, because otherwise it would have just been kidnapping. You also needed to pick another student to share a tent with. And since I didn't have any friends... Oh, who am I kidding? Since I don't have any friends, I wasn't really excited to have nobody ask me to be their tent partner. Eventually, this kid named Tris asked me to share a tent with him, and since I didn't want to have to share one with a teacher, I accepted. We also had to get physicals, but I don't want to talk about that. Eventually the day came to leave, and we had to be at the school by 6 AM. The camp was around an hour away, but it took about 3 hours to get there because the bus I was on broke down. When we eventually got to the camp, we were assigned to certain campsites, and I was part of Seneca. The main part of the whole trip that I remember was that each group had to come up with their own theme song, and the winners would get a prize. And when you ask 26th grade boys to make a song, it's not exactly gonna be a Broadway performance. We didn't even end up making a song. We just ended up with some sort of cult-like chant. When I say Seneca, you say beast. Seneca, beast. Beast. Seneca, beast. We won. Mainly because we were the only boy camp that actually made a song. On our first day there, our principal told us to make sure that our tents were shut at night because there were wild boars in the area, and they would rip our necks open and bathe in our blood. Boars weren't even my group's main concern, because our campsite was right next to a small cemetery with 2 graves in it. In 1856, 2 slaves were hanged because they slept with the farm owner's wife. And guess whose tent was closest to the graves? Yeah, Tris wanted to be in the tent farthest from the counselor. Also, when we were in 7th grade, the principal told us that he was lying to us, and that he just said there were wild boars in the area to get us to close our tent at night. Did I mention that all 3 days we were there, it was raining the entire time? Like severe thunderstorms? Now, I know a lot of you might not believe in the paranormal, but when Tris and I were in the tent trying to sleep, lightning struck outside and lit up the area, and I swear on my life that I saw 2 silhouettes standing in the cemetery. I would have easily dismissed it as me seeing things because I was tired, but without me even saying anything, Tris asked me if I saw the silhouettes too. On the second night, Tris kept his flashlight on while he was asleep. I don't remember why, but at one point in the night, I woke up to Tris crying his eyes out, and the counselor trying to calm him down. And when I saw that, I just turned around and went back to sleep. When I asked Tris about it the next morning, he said he was crying because he was homesick. It's been 2 days. The last story I want to talk about was by far the most traumatizing part of the whole trip. Like I said before, there were certain activities that we could sign up for, and there was one where you would go out in the forest and find counselors dressed up as injured hikers, and you were supposed to help them. And there were a few of them that would jump out at you covered in fake blood and scream at you begging for help. The other activity that I was in was a calming walk through the woods. And if you listen carefully, you can hear wildlife in its natural habitat. Now wasn't that real? Please God, you gotta help me, I'm dying, for the love of God, help me! I nearly pulled a Tris. When I got back home, my mom bought me a Webkinz. I don't really know why I decided to mention that, but let that be a lesson to you. If you go camping, you'll get a Webkinz. And doesn't that make it all worth it in the end?